I know it might sound very funny, but I'm going to give you a very little side story. Oftentimes, I think about empty graves. Like, I think about deciding that you want to bury somebody and, you just dig the whole 6 feet and the grave, or rather, the coffin is empty. So, yes, I kind of think about empty coffins, but not in that light of me being weird. And I'm going to tell you why I actually remember this right now. I was watching Smart Money Woman. I think it was season 2, episode 1. That was when Lara was doing the whole preparation for her mom's burial, and everyone wanted it to be befitting. I really do have a problem, like a big ass problem with that term. Then I kept on asking myself, what exactly does it mean when we say we want to give somebody a befitting burial? Because my own understanding about on the whole befittingness is what the person is due, what the person deserves, right? It's showing love and respect till the very end. It doesn't always have to be translated into money, designer clothes, who has the largest tents. And then I just ask myself, what's with the whole money? What's with the whole design? I mean, Babe literally went bankrupt. No, I don't want to say bankrupt, but she was literally in a money mess, trying to fit into the ideology of people that did not rate her mother. And it was not just sitting well with me. I always tell myself something, and I tell people that care to listen this, and I'm going to share with you too. If you don't rate my parents, you don't deserve to attend the burial, and you don't deserve to make decisions. Not even my parents, but in general, if you don't rate somebody, I don't see why you're deciding how the person should be buried. When I think about giving somebody a befitting burial, I think it's more of showing the person respect to the very end. So if all you can afford is a bag of rice, the people that come there would understand that, oh, they don't really have enough money, but we're going to, put you in a good coffin. I don't know, I think I'm ranting a lot about this. I'm actually not getting pissed over this. And there are 3 things that I'd never be able to crack. The excessive spendings that come with weddings. I mean, the excessive spendings that come with burials, and the never quenching desire to live way above your means, only to impress people that really don't give a rat's ass about you. I don't know why I'm getting really pissed about this, but I have 2 takes on this. 1, as long as you don't come lamenting about how broke you are and needing urgent 2K, we are fine. As in, I'm fine. If you want to borrow money to bury your mother, if you want to borrow money to travel to London and post Instagram pictures, if you want to borrow money to buy a car that you can't afford, as long as you don't come to me and start lamenting, Sade, I think, me too, I think. We're all thinkers, okay? So free me. And number 2, I honestly don't care. I see it as none of my damn business. But when we're gonna have an issue is when you come up. Is it an issue? Where we're gonna have wahala is when you come up in my space and start trying to police it. Nah, I'm not going to take that from you. So sit. Welcome to the 2216 podcast. I remain Sade. It's so funny how I keep on saying I remain Sade, like my name is going to change all of a sudden. I mean, even if that part of my name changes, Sade is never going to change. I remain Sade, and you're welcome to the 2016 podcast. Today we are going to be talking about understanding being burned out, understanding exhaustion. I hate that I said exhaustion. We're just gonna have like 4 main liners. We'll pick them up and we'll run with it. Before I dive, you guys know that I'm a wine babe. So if you're listening to my podcast and you're not drinking wine, drinking juice, drinking water, you gotta be drinking something. Just take a glass of something. Take a glass of something and have it, okay? Have you ever, felt so exhausted you wondered if sleep was some kind of unicorn or an urban legend? Side story. I always ask myself, unicorns, do they actually exist? I mean, I know they appear in ancient myths from various cultures as symbol of purity, grace, and even healing powers. I don't know if there's a scientific, last I checked, I don't think there's a scientific evidence that supports their existence. They are legendary status, but we've always kept it alive through art, literature, and pop culture, and that's still fine. That's very much fine. Now, we're not talking about unicorns today, so let's continue. When I'm thinking about burnout, sometimes I love to think it's way more than fatigue. I think it's when your body is saying, we're done, even before you're out of bed. So while you're just, when you're in that phase of waking up, your body's already saying, I can't even do today. I think that's when you can see your body has literally been burnt. Ouch, that was not a funny joke. And funny thing is, I had one of those mornings recently, and man, it was filled with so much exhaustion. Like, I woke up and my body said to me, you better sit your ass down. Like, sit down and shut up. It was so crazy because I'm the kind of person, I'm that kind of babe that once I wake up, I'm up, I try to get by my day. But it was like a Saturday, and I was like, I just woke up for like a few minutes. I think I needed to pee or something. And I literally, like, I wanted to get active. My body was like, if you don't sit down, I'm gonna make you sit down. Like, literally, I could, it was like I was having a conversation with my body, and I went back to I just went back to the bed because I can't kill myself. I will not kill myself. Do you get? So it's what happens when stress is no longer a sprint, but a marathon you didn't sign up for. If doing nothing sounds like a 5-star vacation, you might still get burnt out. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So if you've put your body, or if you've taken your body to that point of exhaustion, resting kind of no longer feels like a normal thing. It kind of feels like a luxury that you dearly desire. Like I told you guys at first, we're going to be having like 4 pointers that we're looking at. How do you know you're burnt out? How do you know you're not just, how do you know that you don't just need, my partner will say, babe, I need to sleep. I need a 45-minute power nap. I always laugh when he says that, because in my head I'm like, how do you sleep for 45 minutes? I mean, if I'm going down, I'm going down. You get? But funny enough, it works for him though. It works really well for him. So how do you have, what are the signs of burnout? How do you know that you're not just, how do you know you've gotten to that point where you're just really, really, really tired? Now, burnout has levels. Can you remember that MI song? I think it was MI, Vontan and Fino, where MI was like, there are levels to this. And this small boy is trying to rock you. There are pebbles to this. I think it was Bullion Van. Honestly, I loved MI. I don't think he sings again, or even if he does, I haven't listened to any of his songs recently, but I really did like MI then. Should I say did? Because I still do like it, because I think I was listening to Bullion Van a while back, and man, it just brought up memories where I'll plug in and like listen to MI. I'll be singing it like, I'm MI's manager or something. Oh well, shit happens. But yeah, back to reality. Burnout has levels, and the point here is there are actually levels to it. It's not always obvious at first, but it escalates if we decide to ignore the signs. And then you're like, Sade, how do I know? How do I know my body is burning out? First, you're gonna be emotionally exhausted. That moment you've cried out, and now even crying feels like work. Yeah, you're burnt. Like you're burnt. BURNT, burnt. Emotional exhaustion means you can't feel engaged, even with things you once loved. It's like having a TV on mute, and you're just watching your life, but there's really no sound to it. I don't want to say you're leaving, you're just existing. I've also had days where, I'm trying to watch something, I'm trying to do something, and I just start staring. I mean, I'm not saying that's always a case of burnout, but I'm giving you an example of what it feels like when you're emotionally exhausted. So that you like a certain TV program, or you like knitting, or you like watching something, and then all of a sudden you're in the presence of that thing, but you're phased out. You might want to look at it properly and consider that a sign of being burnt out, and take the necessary steps. And if you're like, Shadi, what are the steps? I got you covered, my loves. I do got you covered. But let's look at other signs that we should always look out for when we're talking about burnout. The second one is cynicism. Hey, don't you say cynicism? Cynicism. Cynicism and detachment. Sorry. You begin to lose meaning. Funny enough, I can't even pronounce it because shame is not going to allow me to. I don't think I know how to pronounce that word. And you know the funny thing, I looked at it, I learned it. I used it for like 2 minutes, and now I just. Well, you try to get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, so you begin to lose meaning. It just doesn't make sense to you. Things no longer make sense to you. Burnout often brings a very new perspective. Pessimism. When even when you get to that point, when cat videos make you like you're watching a cat video or a dog video and you're rolling your eyes, man, just know that something is up. If there's one video I never skip on TikTok, any video that has to do with dogs, cats, monkeys, I don't skip them because man, they literally brighten my day, and I'm not even joking. Yeah, so if you are skipping those videos, something might be wrong. And burnout makes you withdraw, detach from friends, families, and yes, even your dog. Now imagine me leaving Zaza. If you don't know Zaza, Zaza is literally the best dog in the world, and we are way too close. So the day you literally see me not wanting to be around Zaza, just know I'm burnt to the max. Then the last point we're going to look at as the signs, we have reduced performance. You just don't seem to move forward. You don't think you're regressing, but you're just not moving forward, and you sure realize that you don't have that drive. You're stuck on level 1, and even getting coffee, even taking that sip of coffee feels like you're scaling Everest, so there's nothing to lift you up. Don't worry, I got you covered, I got you covered, right? Yeah. So how do we get to that point of being burnt out? Overcommitment. There's this song that I used to sing then. It's not my song, oh, calm down. Superman got nothing on me, I'm only something. Well, oftentimes we convince ourselves that saying yes is way easier than saying no. Rather, we need to understand how taking on too much leads to burnout. It's very important to learn to choose self-care over social obligations. Something will always come up. There's always going to be something that needs your time, your energy, your body, your mind, and you have to know how to manage it. You have to know when to say yes, and you have to know when to say no. Another reason that you might be burning out is lack of control. Now, have you ever felt like you just need to know and have everything under control? Do you feel like you need to be that one Superman in every situation? Do you feel like you need to be that one person only that everybody wants to in time of need? You say to yourself, it's either my way or the highway. Chelugodu. Sade, I'm here to tell you that it's definitely one long ass highway to being burnt out. Okay, when you have no control, you're forced to adapt constantly to external demands and often feel unable to improve the situation. This often leads to frustration, stress, which are major contributors of burnout. So once in a while, just take yourself out of the situation. People are messing up, take yourself out of the situation. I always tell my partner something. What can you do right now? If you're stressing over something, I always ask, what can you do right now, like physically do right now, that's going to improve the situation? And if he tells me, oh, there's nothing I can do physically right now, then I say it shouldn't stress you. It really shouldn't stress you. And I think that's how we should all live our lives. I'm not saying we shouldn't care. We should definitely care about things. We should definitely be concerned about things. But the moment that this caring, concerning, oh my days, the moment that this care and concerns overwhelms us in the point that we no longer make decisions that will benefit us as an individual, then there's a problem and we need to watch it. Another reason that that you can be burnt out is lack of rest and recharging. And the only thing I'm going to say regarding this is you are not a robot. Even if you decide to drink all the coffee in the world, the moment you decide to not rest, the moment you as a robot refuse to unplug, you'd eventually get fried. Thinking about fried, I actually do want fried yam and egg sauce, so I'm actually planning how to make that later. Damn, you know the funny thing? Wait, jokes aside, do we have people that just constantly think about food? Because I'm sitting down, I'm literally going through major crisis, and all I'm thinking about is when will I eat that pineapple rice in Lasibo? There's this. I'm a very big chips babe, and the best chips I've had in my life was at the cabin in Nigeria. See, I'm saying in Nigeria. The best chips I've had it was at the cabin. Like, I don't know how they make it, but like they just make their chips to perfection. Every other person is either it's too soggy, it's not sweet. The cabin sabi. If you this is not like some promo, but I just like food. I'm sorry about that. So back to the episode, right? And we're going to be talking about how do we fight burnout? How do we come face to face with burnout and say, yalla yai? Number one, you have to set boundaries and you have to mean it. You have to look at that piece of BS in the face and say to it, man, them, you ain't burning me out today, okay? You must understand, and I mean must, you must understand that setting boundaries is not about shutting people out. It's basically putting, it's like putting a closed sign, on your mental stores. You won't let people break into your house for a quick chat, so don't let them break into your schedule. You can't just, you can't say, oh, I don't want to say no to anybody, so my door is always going to be open. Nah, you can't just leave it open. You need time to recharge. You need time to figure your own self out. You need time to find somebody that's also going to be a relief system for you. Do you get? I don't believe in giving till you give your all. I'm going to say you're not Jesus, number one. And number two, you need a recharge system. Okay, you can't just keep on giving and giving and giving, and then there's nobody that is willing to give you. Now that I'm listening to that in my head, it sounded very funky and very weird, but you get my point. Another way to fight burnout is to say no more often. I watched an interview once, and the man said, we all have to have vitamin N. When I first heard, I'm like, motivational speakers, what is it? And then he went for it to say vitamin no. The N stands for no. To families, friends, lovers, your side bangs, whatever, baby. You need a no here and there. You need to say no here and there. Saying no can be a lifesaver, literally. You have to start small, really small. You could start by saying no to optional meetings. Those meetings that don't have agenda. Those meetings that don't have agendas. You could say no to volunteering or organizing an office party. I mean, if you don't organize it, the party is not going to die, right? Trust me, someone else is available to buy balloons this year, and somebody will definitely do the blows. Damn, I'm really out on a very long ass leash here, but you get my point. There's always somebody that's going to do it. Maybe better than you, maybe not better than you. But if you think that devoting your entire life to something at your own expense, at the expense of resting, at the expense of you recharging, trust me, it's going to end in what I like to call premium tears, right? Another way to, ease the burnout is to unplug. Yes, and please, if you have to unplug from your phone too, do it. Before I say this one, so I watch a lot of things, but now I was watching some couple therapy stuff, and the lady was like, one way that they have been able to improve their sex life and life as a whole is by the eradication of TVs and phones from the bedroom. So if they're coming to the bedroom, they know that, oh, I'm not watching anything, or I'm not trying to check up on my socials or check up on my emails or anything like that, right? And oftentimes we feel that urge to check our mails by 3 a.m. If you get to that point where you rather check your mails by 3 a.m. than sleep, man, it's time to put that phone out. If it becomes a consistent habit where you would rather expend the sleeping time to work. I know in the motivational speakers, they're gonna be like, put in the work when you're young, yada 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 yada. I'm not saying you should not put in the work, but if you put in the work at the expense of your health, you're going to really burn out, and you might not be up from that burnout. And I don't want that for you. I want you all to see. I wanted to say something very silly, so I'm going to swallow that. Damn, I've been really saying some, cryptic things here. But yeah, so if the urge to check your emails at 3 a.m. is way stronger than your urge to sleep, then I think it's time you put that phone out of your room. Trust me, you're not missing any life-changing event in that group chat. A side note to that is you might be, but there's always a BC, a TT, a Sade to catch you up on whatever you missed, okay? And the last way I think you can fight burnout is to reconnect with joy. Now, you remember those things you liked doing as a child. You liked watching cartoons, you liked building with Legos, you liked playing with people, you liked reading, you liked sleeping, you liked eating. Every single thing that you liked doing as a child, I think you should reconnect with it. I need you to rediscover hobbies. Remember when you were just out there watching the sunset, or you were just out there being impatient and watching your paint dry? That was like something you would want to do, that you wanted to do that you always did as a child. And I think you should recreate that. So when I watch these Instagram videos and I see girls like, come with me, I need to get the turn, I'm sorry. And then they'll be like, come with me as I go to Le Cavet to paint. Come with me as I go to Le Cavet. I don't know what Le Cavet is, so don't actually like pick up your phone to start searching, because I have no idea what that is. And if it's an actual place, then I think I need to try it out. But I see videos of people going to paint, going to sculpt, going to ceramic classes, going to yoga. Do something that just doesn't feel like a chore. Do something that doesn't drain you. Do something that doesn't fight you, my lovers. Okay? Now you're like, I've learned a lot. I know you learned a lot, because there's literally so much that you can put your body through. I always tell my brother this. I tell people that I care about. I tell people that, that this conversation happens with them, and I tell them there's literally so much you can do to your body. But it gets to a point your body says, I'm no longer listening to you. I'm not going to do things my way. So when you're thinking about, if I don't get this done, I will get this, my love, prioritize your time. If you're going to put 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. doing that CFA, doing that ICANN, doing that AWS, then sit your ass down and do it. But don't come at me saying, oh, I didn't do it all through the day, so I want to use the time I want to sleep to. You playing? Are you playing? Are you playing with your body? Stop that. We've actually come to an end of today's episode, but I'm going to end with this. I want to encourage everyone listening today to give yourself grace. It's important to embrace patience during recovery. It's a process that may take weeks or even months, and trust me, that's very much okay. If plants take their time to grow, why can't we take our time to grow? Just because you watered the plants this night doesn't mean tomorrow morning you're harvesting tubers of yam. Just because you started that remedy or that treatment doesn't mean immediately the next day it's going to be like all perfect. All right, so it's a process. Everything, living, not living, needs a process. And I want you to extend that level of grace to yourself. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you enjoyed listening to the 2016 podcast today, please make sure you share this episode with your friends, your family, and your numerous lovers. Literally anyone that you think will benefit from this episode. Your support helps us grow and bring in more insightful content your way. Don't forget to follow me. Moi. Have you ever seen like moi? Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the 2016 podcast, and you can always reach out to us via. What do you think the right term is? Well, you can always reach out to us via email at the 2016podcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback, and any topic you would like us to cover in future episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I really want to see you all next time on the 2016 podcast. I'm wishing you long life, peace, and prosperity, and I do pray that God grants also longevity. Bye, everyone.